Hi, women. Before we dive in today, I need to name something important. This episode, along with all episodes that you will hear until our winter break in mid-December, was recorded before my birth, prior to mid-August. Since then, our family has walked through the unimaginable. Our son was stillborn, and we are in deep mourning. As these shows air, you'll hear and see me pregnant, which now feels incredibly painful and weird, given that you are holding the sacred knowledge of what came after. So please forgive the dissonance. These stories still deserve to be shared and heard. We welcome your prayers, your loving thoughts, and your support as we navigate this spiral of such deep grief. I hope you find resonance and nourishment in this conversation today. Thank you.
When a woman wants sovereign support, it can seem impossible to find. Where are the midwives, the birth photographers, the chiropractors, the childbirth educators, and the healers that really get it? Well, we are all finally in one place. I'd like to introduce the Matcha Birth Directory, Free Birth Society's newest offering to support the birth liberation movement. It's the first of its kind. Do you serve women? Get listed. Do you want support? Become a member. We envision a world where networking the sovereign birth paradigm is easy and abundant for all. Join us. Just go to www.matchabirthdirectory.com. Welcome to Free Birth Society. I'm Emily Saldea, and this is where we break the spell of medicalized birth, remember what's been forgotten, and rise together into our birthright to live, birth, and mother as sovereign women.
Welcome, Miki.
Thank you. We did it.
We'll see.
Whatever it takes, you know?
35 minutes of tech troubleshooting to wind up back on Zoom.
Mercury in retrograde. Part of
All
it.
right. Okay, I want to hear it all. So, this is a little bit, for my listeners, of an unusual episode. Obviously, we primarily have free birth stories, which, hey, maybe one day you'll be back with one of those. But I wanted to have you on to get to know you because I think you're cool and hear about these just really exciting, important, companies that you run, that you have birthed into the world. And also, this kind of, I'm going to call it a character arc, story that's underneath some of your life, from what I can tell peripherally, is that you have stood in the fire of female leadership in the liberal, woke, modern day culture. And you have gone through the cancellation attempts, and you've gone through the business hardships of that, and also the public chaos of that, and you've lived to tell the tale, and I would say are standing, stronger and more clear and more powerful than ever. Would you agree?
I mean, yeah, I feel, in any experience of challenge, you kind of learn so much about yourself and what you're capable of with not only withstanding, but like retruthing within yourself. And it's just like, oh yeah, like what are my values? Who are my people? Like, what do I care about? And then you start to, no, I think going through anything challenging, you find a deeper center afterwards. So it's like, like any hero's journey, every single person on the planet goes through a version of their hero's journey where they, you know, enter the adventure, then they refuse the call, then they take the call. And then in that adventure, so much happens. And on the other side of it is so much growth, learning, and more love. Yeah.
And I think what I resonate with, that I think is important for more women to hear about and consider is this choice, this discovery process, which I hope to get into with you, of often due to challenges like you're gonna share, the choice and discovery process to learn how to source from within, learn how to really know who you are inside out, because otherwise, if you're gonna do anything cool, if you're gonna be in the public arena and inevitably get critique or get your ass kicked, the Like that to me is actually being canceled, is to believe that
Yeah.
your validation and that your worth and that your truth comes from the public arena.
For sure. And my spiritual teacher, Sadhviji, she talks about just these analogies, and I we shared that a little bit before we started recording, but the idea of like someone just saying like your hair is blue, I mean I'm wearing blue, but my hair is not blue. And it's like your hair is blue, and you're like, you can either believe like, is my hair blue? Like it because you're saying it's blue, I guess it must be, even if you really it's not blue. Or you can say, no, my hair's not blue. You can think it's blue, but my hair's not blue. And that's okay. Like it's what you take on and what you choose to. And it's like, I think Margaret Thatcher said, other what other people say is none of your business, you know. And so yeah, again, it's not an easy path to take when you're, a human being who genuinely wants to be liked. Like every human being wants to feel belonging. Every human being wants to feel understood, wants to feel liked. When you experience something where you're deeply misunderstood, where you're attempted to be, unbelonged in a way, in many ways, when you're attempted to again, be told that your hair is blue, there is a part of you that has to, again, adjust to the remembering of who you are and what is true, because there's so much noise that could get in the way. And
And
so,
it's like your hair is blue and you should be hung for that. Like your
right,
hair is blue and it's bad, and we don't accept that and we don't like that, and we want everyone to believe your hair is blue, and no one should be friends with her because her hair is blue. It's like the consequences of the projection of the hair being blue
right.
is so layered and intense, and could, should you believe the lie that your hair is blue, or the projection, could really lead to real life ruining.
100%. And you see lots of people who are, like wonderfully sensitive and fragile, but also, that can really destroy their sense of well-being in an sort of an external way. And I think that's why cultivating a deep, deep inner field is such an important piece. And I think, from my experience of going through like these deeply challenging, rites of passage, I had to build a deep toolkit of,
Mhm.
of how to pull these tools out when people are telling me my hair is blue, you
Mhm.
know. And
Yeah.
so,
So tell us about that. Take us, just give us, whatever kind of summary um that you want to, about this. I'm assuming THINX was your first company, but I don't actually know that.
no, it's my second company. My first
Okay.
company is that, yeah, I built New York City's first gluten-free farm to table pizza restaurant, uh,
Fun.
which is still open today, 20
Oh,
years later.
oh shit. So you
Crazy.
you built that and then sold it?
No, I still have it. I still, yeah.
Cool.
And it's in the heart of the West Village. It's like John Bon Jovi's favorite restaurant, Paul McCartney, Meryl Streep. It's like
Oh my
the
God,
heart
fun.
of Greenwich Village. And it's like, it's like all the celebs' favorite, healthy, like gluten-free, like farm to table pizza joint, restaurant.
Fun.
Um, yeah. And so I really learned about people. When you're hangry, when you walk into your store and they're like gluten-free, yuck, or like whatever, or when people again have projections of what they believe food and pizza should be, especially New York City pizza people.
Yeah.
Like I had to really learn how to jujitsu. You're not fighting, but you're playing with, all the different types of energies that show up in your space. And
In
I
your gluten-free
in
space.
my gluten-free pizza restaurant in New York City, and someone's like, I'm ordering a pepperoni, or we didn't have pepperoni, but I'm ordering like a, free range tikka masala pizza and a chana masala pizza. I remember this so clear. I had a tikka masala and a chana masala pizza at my restaurant. They're the best because I'm half Japanese, half Indian.
Bomb.
And I had my like grandmother's chana masala recipe. Anyways, and so this hangry customer would come in and it's like, I ordered a tikka masala and a chana masala. And I was like, well, I literally just took the order. You ordered two chana masala pizzas. Like I literally, and he's like, and I was like, I'm happy to make you two chana masala pizzas right now. People just bring their shit. And so like what I learned from that experience, and I'm also a very sensitive and I'm still quite a very porous person in many ways. Aren't we all? And I think that's what makes great, creatives good creatives because they take in a lot of, the external and are able to kind of marinate with it and then bring it out in its own sort of creative expression. But I would take it on. I was like, I would just be so like traumatized by these experiences. But then
Oh no.
over time, you're just like, it's not me. It's not mine to own. It's theirs to own. It's their own shit. It's their own projection. It's their own stressed out. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe his family maybe something happened. Like maybe he's taking it out on me. Like you eventually learn. And so I think my dojo of entrepreneurship in so many ways of people learning was just being in the restaurant. I think everyone should work in the restaurant business at some point.
Hmm.
You just, wow, you learn so much. Um, so when I started THINX, and again, I spent many, many years standing outside my restaurant, handing out little pieces of pizza, just being like, healthy pizza, organic pizza, gluten-free pizza, and seeing if anyone would like come over and eat it. And the only times they did when I was like, delicious free pizza,
Yeah.
people would come and take it. And then as they're like bite like, I would be like, did you know it's gluten-free and farm to table and we support local farms and create like
Yeah.
local because back then local farm to table, seasonal, all that stuff wasn't part of
Hmm.
back then like Subway sandwich was like like the healthy place. And so like I was uphill in 2005 like going against all these Subway and whatever. And so I learned a lot about how to talk to people, how to like meet people where they are in like it's like gluten-free, farm to table, all those words didn't resonate back then. Now they do, but back then they didn't. But like yummy, delicious, free
Free.
did. And so,
No,
yeah,
it's free. It's gluten free.
yeah, it's free. It's free of gluten. Yeah, and so I really learned that like trying to punch people in the face with a new idea or trying to get them or push them isn't going to work. Now, as entrepreneurs, we're already like type like ASAP,
Yeah.
quite like already just like want to, you to see my way, and that often it's like you have to delight them into a new way. You have to
Hmm.
allow them to discover it for themselves. You have to do it through the arts, through creativity, through,
Ah,
all these different
yeah.
ways and not through
Knocking them
penetrating.
over the head.
Yeah, with something. It's like, do you know that like eating gluten in America is like totally bad for you because the way the gluten is being processed is making you so inflamed. No one's going to listen to you on that. And so, anyways, early on, I learned how to meet people where they are. So then when I started THINX, the period proof underwear company, I really learned that, it kind of a thesis around changing culture, which was a best in class product. Like our pizza was truly the most delicious gluten pizza. Forget gluten free. You bite into it, it's the most delicious,
Mm.
explosive, like flavorful pizza that happens to be local, farm to table, gluten free, cauliflower crust, whatever, delicious. Um, so best in class product. And then the second prong is accessible, relatable language. So it had to be funny, it has to be, like you're texting your best friend. Like I said, like meeting people where they are language wise. Like, oh, you're talking to me. You're not talking to like it's not too academic, clinical, medical, technical, like heady.
It's
It's just
hard.
you're texting your best friend. Like, how do you talk to your friends? Like that's how we accessible, relatable language. And then artful from a design aesthetic across every touch point. The interior of my restaurant was really beautiful. It was really inviting. So at THINX is when I started THINX, really applying so many of those lessons at my restaurants. You'd think that they're not transferable, but so many of these skill sets that you gain in different industries are
Hmm.
deeply transferable into new industries, you
Hmm.
know? And so when I started THINX, I was like, okay, like I want to make sure it's a best in class product that the underwear actually you can bleed into them and feel super protected, super safe, They're beautiful. They're sexy to look at. Like my high waist underwear, I wear them even just for fun when I'm
Mm.
not perioding because I love them, and they're artfully designed, and our website, all of our aesthetic was really beautiful. Now, as I sold the company 8 years ago, it's slowly deteriorated aesthetically. But when we launched, it was beautiful, artful. Like I had like fine artists working on the project, and it was like truly iconic art that we presented to the world. A period proof underwear concept that people fell in love with because of the artfulness, because of the relatable language, and because the product really liberated women. Talk about free birth, like free bleed. There was this like deep, deep, like, oh my God, I can free bleed into my underwear. Like the liberation. I have to stick something in my vagina, which by the way, tampons cause cramps and cause so many different things. All that bleach leaching into your vaginal canal with the most, like juicy part of your body, like in the absorbent part of your body. Like, anyways, I can talk all day about it, but really, really transforming people and bringing people into this new way of going, of experiencing your period every month. And of course, like when you bring something new into society, people want to push back, people want to resist. Again, people don't want to answer the call in the hero's journey of like transforming your own belief system around your own period, around your own, like the shame
Mm.
period.
Yeah.
People, before I started, people put their tampons in their sleeves and they would like slink away to the bathroom kind of quietly and not tell
Mm-hmm.
anyone. Now it's like I've got my period and I'm so proud of it. And I
Now
really
women can't shut up about their periods. They're
put
putting it on
back
their face. They're
but back when I started, it was
yeah,
like,
totally.
how dare you? You're so uncouth, Mickey. You're talking about, you're saying the word period. You're just trying to
Hmm.
be like get attention. You're this, you're that. You're just like every stick and stone. And you're just
My
like,
God.
shit. Anyways, and so, like you're
But
already
it blew up.
it blew up. Our Subway campaign blew up as well. We had this grapefruit, this half grapefruit that was banned from the subways because the subways said we couldn't say the word period. It was a very, very
Oh, okay.
wild thing. And we were like, you can put breast augmentation
Of
ads
course. Come
using
on.
grapefruits to represent, like, they had this little prunes and this girl in a sad face and these big grapefruits and this girl in a smiley face. And it was like breast augmentation ads. And that was totally fine. But when you're using the same
Oh my God.
grapefruit
The
to
same one.
represent a woman's vagina, but like from a period perspective, that was taboo, that was unwelcome. You can't talk about it. And so we did a big press piece about it, and that story went viral, and that's what really put us on the map and
Nice.
set the project in motion. But at the time we were growing so fast. You talk about blowing up, and it was my first, my restaurants. Like, I had a number of employees across two restaurants, and then three restaurants, but it was
Whoa.
yeah, but it wasn't like, like this level of like velocity
Yeah.
um, of having to hire. And so I
Also
think
local versus like, I mean, this was worldwide.
right. Well, we were hiring locally in New
Yeah.
York. And so, like one of the,
But as a movement.
oh yeah, global movement,
Yeah.
100%. It was really cool. Like one really like potent, poignant moment of mine, with THINX specifically was when I remember walking on the street in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. This is when like, no one knows about your project. No one knows what it is. Don't even know what explain period proof underwear. Like, what is that? What the fuck? And I remember like walking down the street in Williamsburg and ran into my friend who's Indian. And he happened to be walking with his cousins, who were both in town from India, from Delhi. And he was like, "Oh my God, tell my cousins what you're working on. It's really cool." And I was like, okay, like, let me explain, like, like get, talking about like having to explain like what period underwear is. And I explained, I was like, I started a company called THINX. It's like underwear that you can bleed into on your period. I know it sounds kind of interesting. They're like, wait a minute, wait a minute. And I was like, what? I'm Indian. I can do the accent
Yeah.
and
It's
half
loud.
Indian. And they were like, oh, they pull out their WhatsApp threads, and in their WhatsApp threads, all their girlfriends were talking about THINX. And I
Oh
was
my
in
God.
India because our story had gone viral
Hell
like
yeah.
all over the world.
That's
And
dope.
and it was a moment like I literally had to fight back tears. It was like one of those moments where I was just like,
It's
wait,
real.
I didn't have to explain it to you. Like I will never, ever, ever, ever take for granted those moments where
Mm.
people are like, I love my tushy. Like it changed my life. Like, or like at Burning Man, people would run up to me and pull their pants down, or they wouldn't even be wearing pants because at Burning Man, you're wearing your underwear out
Yeah.
and they'd be wearing things. And they're like, this is my like sexy outfit.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
and so it was just like, yeah, like it's like a musician where someone's like singing your song,
totally, dude.
like,
Totally. Well, I'm about to
yeah,
get into my collection of things in postpartum.
yay, yeah, 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 yeah. And
Oh,
so,
I love that.
yeah, and so it was just one of those moments where you're just like, okay, like we're doing something awesome and we're changing culture and what comes with that is like extreme types of people that want to like
Yeah.
join the movement, which is great. But when it's like feminist AF and it's like, like kind of like a bit
Mm,
extra woke, it's like there is pieces to that are like you need that for culture shift, for like to really go from the patriarchy to somewhere in the middle. There needs to be some pendulum swing to the other side before it comes to the center. I do feel like, I happen to be in the eye of the storm of the pendulum swing, not by on purpose, but just like period feminism movement. Like,
yeah,
and I'm just like,
totally.
whoa, I'm just trying to help women period better and like whatever. But it became this thing, and then it was sort of like kind of fun to be on this ride of like period
Yeah.
feminism movement. Like, it was really
With
cool.
your product at the center.
Yeah, and it was
Hell
just like,
yeah.
I'll take it, but
Yeah.
and it really was a movement. Like it really did change people's like feelings about
Hmm.
themselves. Like I really consider a lot of these products could be like acupuncture points of change, which is
Hmm.
why it's really cool. It's like it talks about a period, it's a change in how you create a new product, but then it brings up the conversation of a period or going to the bathroom, pooping. Like the number of my customers who are like for Tushy who are like, oh yeah, we talk about poop all the time after installing our bidet. And I'm just like, wow, like that's, and then they're like, well, then what else do we talk about? Then they started talking about all other kinds of taboo subjects that they weren't money, like sex, like relation, like all the taboo things. It started with the little like opening of the door of
Yeah,
talking about poop, talking about period.
totally.
Anyways, so yeah, so then we kind of like grew so fast and again attracted a certain type of person. And I take full responsibility for being like, I don't need to hire senior leadership. I don't want to pay senior leaders $150,000 a year. And I'm a young entrepreneur. I didn't really quite grok like hiring like a bunch of juniors who were super feminist and woke without a lot of leadership, you know?
Ugh,
And I was in over my head because I was just like trying to steer the ship, in a certain
yeah.
direction. And when I sort of realized that it was like overrun by too many woke
Oh
feminist
no.
types,
This is a nightmare.
yeah. Um, and again, bless them all. Like, like grateful for the work and for the passion. And it wasn't necessarily great for the culture, particularly for me, because I didn't want to say stuff like strangled by my bra and like fuck Trump, even if like we believe whatever we believe. Like I didn't need back. This is by the
Like
way,
as your brand.
I know, and this is like,
Yeah.
like, and as a brand, I was like, no, we're positive. We're like
Yeah, we're
bringing art.
classy.
Yeah, and I said like what I learned from my restaurant experience is like you don't shove things in people's faces. You don't get negative. You inspire, you create art, you create love, you create this like, oh, it's so much fun over here. Let me bring people.
Mhm.
I want to check, not like the making people shamey and feel
Yeah.
bad. So I ended up firing some of these women and there was some crazy shit that went down after that. Like some of these people came after me with some crazy stories and again like everyone was so like riled up and wound up in the story of like being part of this movement.
Mm.
And I again like I don't want to just be like they're horrible people. They were like passionate, young, woke, just like not much experience, right, in the world yet. And so they didn't understand the level of like when you're
Right.
saying certain things, it doesn't bode well for a brand. But for them, when you're young and like super
Righteous.
righteous, you think
So
that that's the way it is, and
how
then
does the trans stuff play into the timeline of this in
it
terms of
was.
your involvement?
Yeah, that was like again this whole movement of of that culture
That
that
was a
created
part of
that was
the
all I was all part of that. And like we did want to serve everyone with a period, whether you're, a trans man who has a period, or if you're all we want it's periods for all, like, and that is true. Like we did want to serve everyone, but it again, the wokeness got out of hand. And so, again, as a young, like again, like I don't want to again shame myself for not knowing how to properly sit in a room and let someone go in a very like, it's like, hey, today's your last day. I'm so sorry. And maybe it could
yeah,
be done in a more palatable way, and maybe I didn't
totally.
right or whatever, but like I didn't, like I just didn't expect that to kind of ripple into a 4-year legal battle and all this
Mm,
stuff, and then like having to like save my good name while I was pregnant with Hero, and I was pregnant
mm,
while my board was trying to take my company from me because we went from zero
damn.
to like 50 million in revenue. And so my board was using this wild story to have me step down as CEO so they can take the business. It was a very, very, very wild time. And so I kind of just
That sucks.
retreated, and I was pregnant with Hero. I was so afraid of like what was going to happen. I was so much stress on my body that
Mm.
I just was like, I take universe, God, goddess, like if it wasn't the media, my board, and this crazy like all these like these people like
And a
coming,
lawsuit.
yeah, like coming out, like it was too many pieces that I was like, I'm waving the white flag. I'm taking a
Uh,
back seat.
so what did you do?
So
I
I
mean, you
just
were in the
stopped.
lawsuit for 4 years, so you fought that appropriately.
We fought that, and all the whole thing was thrown out and
Yeah.
whatever. And the company settled with her separately because they got what they wanted. They got the company. It
Oh,
was like a whole, I wasn't part of that at all, but like
okay.
I was
And
already
you
out.
sold THINX.
I ended up selling things because I was like, I'm out. I'm not part of this anymore. So I need to sell it. I need to sell my equity. Like I don't trust anyone in this
Right.
space anymore. And so like while it was my baby and I birthed it, raised
That's
it,
hard, man.
yeah, it was
That's
very, very,
hard.
very, very hard.
But it also just sounds like it got to such a climax of yuckiness. It's like,
It did. It
okay,
was just like money, power, like, like fame,
image.
like all
Yeah,
of that.
totally.
And the universe was, Vicky, this isn't your dharma. Like this isn't where you belong. And I learned about so much about like, at the time, it's like anything else. It's like people are like, want to talk about your company, and you're like, yes, and then I'm just, after that, I was just sort of like, it's not about me, it's about the project. I don't want the target on my back. Because people want to take people down.
Mhm,
And so it's
mhm.
like, let's just draw the focus. When I built Tushy, it was no one even knew practically that I started Tushy and built it. Like, and I brought in like white male CEO, and like I brought in so I just was like, let me just play the patriarchal game that clearly, women still want
Protects
to
you.
be part of. Because
Hmm.
again, like the number of women who voted for Trump, like it was just everyone is deeply indoctrinated the patriarchy. Seeing women in power is still very challenging for so many people. And so
Mm.
there is this like change. And so I kind of was like, all right, rather than me being really hurt and upset and challenged by this what happened, let me play, let me meet people where they are. Again, I learned like let me meet the world where they are, which is people, nobody really challenges like a white male CEO. Like if a white male CEO sat and be like, hey, today's your last day, I'm so sorry, they wouldn't have been like, you're a fucking bitch, like how
Oh,
dare you, I'm
they'd
gonna
be like,
take you
thank you. I
down.
understand. You're right. You're right, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so there was this sort of like,
Of
and so like there is this double blind gender bias. Like I did a whole deep, deep research on
course.
gender bias, like just the gender biases. And there's called this like double blind gender bias, when like a man's considered assertive, a woman's considered aggressive, like the same level of the same thing. Again, I didn't want to play that game of like, I'm gender biased. Like you guys are being so extra mean to me, world. It's just like that's the world that we live in. So how do
Yeah.
I meet the world where they're at after that experience? Like what did I learn? And so I learned, okay, so like, let me put a guy in place and let me build equity like I did with things. And now after, like I've invested in over 30 companies, 95% are women led or at least one women owned. And so now I'm able to actually like instead of like putting my pink hat on and marching and not actually like making change, I'm making change from inside out and from the actual energy that talks right now, which is the financial energy in this moment until the shift happens,
What was
right?
the timeline between you walking away from Thinks and Tushy launching into the world?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, I had started THINX in 2014, co-founded with my twin sister and friend Antonia. And it really took off in 2016, THINX did. I got the idea of Tushy, when my ex-husband gave me a bidet and it changed my life. And my husband, I call him my husband. And we're still very good friends and we
Hmm.
share a beautiful son together. And when he got me a bidet, that was 2014. So I raised my first capital in 2014 for Tushy as well and put a few
Oh.
people in place in 2015, 2014, 2015, just to start that. And that was just sort of like set it and forget it. And so when 2016, 2017, when I stepped down in 2017 from THINX, we like blew up in 2015, 2016, 2017, went from 0 to 50 million, over 120 million, 25 million valuation, whatever. I
Wow.
stepped down and really stepped into Tushy in 2017. And Tushy really started taking
But
off.
not that long of a, they were
No,
kind of,
20,
yeah.
same time. Well, I stopped to have my baby in 2017. I had Hero in 2017, July 2017. And then wrote my book Disruptor the first 2 months of his birth because I had so much to say. I just was like, I had so much inside of me that I had to say. And I had a emergency C-section because I was holding on so tight because I was so like tight. So I labored for 38 hours and dilated only 1 centimeter. So I had to like have an immer. I was just really, really like just like the maternal hunkering down. So
But
I
also you were in the system where they manufacture this stuff. You and I should really unpack your birth privately when
yeah,
you're ready before this pregnancy, because
yeah. Yeah, but
that would be
I feel
helpful.
fully cleansed. And I do want to talk with you about the 100%, but I do feel it's been 7 years. My body's fully cleansed. Like I'm ready again. Like I feel like 7 years, it takes 7 years for all of your cells to turn over. And
Yes,
I,
but your stories are still alive and locked in, right? So the body, great, but like the story that you like what you just said is so worth just
Mhm. That's
some
fair.
yeah,
That's totally fair. I would be so delighted to
if you're
unpack.
interested.
I'm always interested in
Yeah.
more healing, the better.
Right.
I never understood people who don't want to look at their blind spots or look at their challenges and don't want to heal. Like it doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
I think in my mind it can only mean such a low thermostat setting of survival mode because you really have to feel to some degree resourced and in a way even secure and safe to be willing to do that, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of people, I mean, the people I think of who I would like judge as that, who just like won't look at their blind spots and da 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 da, the common denominator is so much internal instability, insecurity, survival mode, like back up against the wall. They're not even aware of it, right? But you have to be pretty resourced to be internally resourced to be willing to expand because it
Hmm.
means having your ass kicked and nothing you thought you knew is true and like it's pretty grueling, which you can take that on in a sense of play, which obviously you have, but that can only mean that, like, to me only suggests how resourced you are, and then your thermostat setting gets higher and higher, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. And the one thing I also, you know, um, just looking back on the whole experience and just like one thing I can truly own is like we're all still working on our tone of voice. I actually wrote a whole blog post about it last night about tone and how like when we can take on a tone of voice that's like super uplifting and super loving, and we can take a tone that's like condescending or sort of like dismissive, right? There's definitely different tones that we can take on as people. And I think as like Shaktis, as like goddesses who have different sides of us, they're all welcome and they're all available. But it's like, how do we fine tune certain tones when we're in business and as leaders in business? And I can really own that when I was very stressed, very overwhelmed, so much going on, my tone was, a bit snappy.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, like I can atone for all of those things. And I also, we also change culture. And sometimes, like, you look at all these male, like, crazy leaders who are just assholes, and their people are like celebrating them. And here I am being like, my tone could have been a little bit better.
I
And
can't. I can't with
no,
that.
whatever. But like, it's true. Like, there
Yeah.
is a double bind gender bias for sure, and I can also own what I can own. And so, like, right. And so, like, it's not like I'm not just giving away like everything else and not taking responsibility, because that's also something that we all can do for ourselves. Is not just blame everyone and everything for the way things are. Which is why for me, when I built Tushy, I was like, okay, when I raise money, I'm going to go with a white guy together again, so it's not as challenging. But I'm going to put a CEO in place, even if I'm pretty much kind of the CEO behind the scenes. But I was at the time, I was too afraid to take the seat again. And so there was still a lot
Were
of,
you weren't afraid of being like usurped, given what had happened previously?
oh, well, what I learned, I became the chairwoman of the board. I control the
Got
company,
it.
control the board. So like there was no chance that they could use, no
Got
one
it.
could, I am the board. And so no one could actually do anything can ever again for across all my companies.
Good.
There's no ability to,
Fool me once, bitches.
I know.
Yeah.
Shame on me, fool me twice.
Okay, so tell us, for anyone who doesn't know, tell us what Tushy is.
Yeah, so Tushy is such a beautiful mission to, first of all, save millions of trees, but it's a modern bidet that washes your butt clean after you poop. And so it's a simple bidet that you attach your existing toilet and turns any toilet into a bidet in less than 10 minutes. And literally, like we have, as a company, we've saved over 10 million trees. We've built toilets for families, for 60,000 families in India who don't have access to clean toilets. My
Mm.
father in India grew up for a period of his life not having access to a clean toilet. And as a 75-year-old man, still sometimes has nightmares about running looking for a clean toilet. It's like,
Oh.
and so the fact that we have built clean, I didn't even know that story until after we built the 60 toilets for 60,000 families in India. It was like this ancestral healing that happened like inside, that I was like, I want to support the global sanitation crisis. Like this is something that really means something to me. And I only found out after that my dad still has these nightmares about, I didn't even know he didn't have access to clean toilets before. Anyways, it was magic.
Mm.
But yeah, we've funded resoiling, reforestry projects all over South America. Like it's really cool. And the bidet, like we've, really shifted like the gross dry wiping and smearing poop around and literally cutting down trees. Like trees literally take in carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, like all these toxins in the air, and transforms it into oxygen for us to breathe. And we're cutting them down and wiping our asses with them. Like, think about that. Think about that. It's to the tune of over 15, 20 million trees per year. The Canadian boreal forest is being decimated to be cut down. Like these old growth forest trees that give us oxygen, that's the carbon sinks of the world, literally chopped down to wipe our butts and doesn't even properly clean us. It is so crazy when you think about the lack of consciousness. And again, I'm not trying to shame or blame. This is just the world that we've grown up in and we've been believed in and taught and like just shoved and like believed to be true, that this is the way it is. And it's like, no, this is not the way it is. Like they're like, let us actually examine what we're doing. And by the way, when we're smearing poop, that's causing UTIs, hemorrhoids, yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, all those things, because you're smearing poop around and you're sitting on that fecal matter, which basically travels from your butt to your vagina, and then that goes and infects your insides and causes all kinds of stuff, versus a precise stream of water that washes your butt clean after you poop, which is what you clean everything in your life with, water. It's just like, except for the dirtiest part of
No,
your
I
body,
clean
your
my
feet,
dishes with Charmin toilet
Charmin
paper.
feet. It's like imagine like cooking a raw chicken. You have like a
Yeah.
raw salmonella filled chicken on your fucking cutting board, and then you wipe it with
Toilet
dry
paper.
paper, and then you put it away. And you're like, that's clean. That's literally what you're
Oh
doing.
no.
It's so gross. And so we've basically made it affordable so everyone can have an under $100 experience of washing instead of wiping and
Mhm.
clearing yourself of all those ailments while saving trees and saving your dignity and being good for your boyfriend and your partner. Yeah, and so yeah, and then if for post-pregnant, it's
Yeah.
such a huge, like alleviation of pain, and it's so like relaxing to have that there. And
Yeah,
so
I wish more women would install them in the pregnancy because
yes,
obviously end of pregnancy that makes sense, but once you've birthed and you're so swollen and potentially torn and the hemorrhoids and it's just kind of hardcore down there for at least a while for most women to be able to, first of all, I mean, the peri bottle like sucks if you have something like this, peri bottle,
right.
you have to fill it up, it's like this little plastic thing, blah blah blah, but this replaces that. And also I know that people use it to spray out the cloth diaper before they throw the cloth diaper in the what's it called, the wash, which is also a pretty cool use of it.
Well,
um
cloth diapering, we can talk about that for a second after with what I'm working on next and why that's not
yeah,
an
yeah.
ideal thing either for cloth diapering is just yeah, we can talk
I
about
have some sort of, please just like fix my brain around this. I have some sort of thing that's like a block about this bidet on the toilet. Like obviously it's pulling from potable water,
it's the
but
same water you brush your teeth with. It's from the wall.
it's from the wall.
So
It
it's
is
basically it's the
going
same
into the
exact.
toilet at
No,
all.
it's not going into the toilet at all, ever. It's
Okay.
not toilet water or the tank water. It literally pulls, so it comes with a splitter and a hose. So like if this is the wall, it comes off the wall and then it splits off from the wall in directly to the bidet. So it's
Okay.
literally from the wall to the bidet. It's
Yeah, I was like making
never
up that it was
toilet.
maybe
No, no,
coming from
no.
a tank or something.
No,
I was like, I
yuck.
don't
It's not
know. I
coming
don't
from
know.
the tank or the bowl. Let me be very clear.
Yeah, not the bowl.
Directly from the wall.
Yeah.
Direct same water you brush your teeth with. It's the same tap water. Like you put that water, you drink that water. It's the same
Okay.
water. It's coming directly to the bidet. And the bidet self cleans itself twice before every use. So it has a self cleaning function that rinses it. So if your partner or your family or other people use it, it self cleans itself twice before every use. And it's pulling from the wall, not from the
Yeah.
bowl of the tank ever. Yeah.
And it is, as I'm sure someone's thinking this, it is like actually powerful enough that it
Oh,
can cleanse the butthole and
it
no extra wiping of anything afterwards is needed.
It's so no, you're using 80% less toilet paper to pat dry. In Italy, they use towels. We have butt towels as
Yeah.
well. And so you can yeah, but you still use a little bit to pat dry, 80% less
Okay.
or 90% less. And yes, it's a precise stream for your butt. And it also controls the pressure as well. We also have warm water bidets as well. And we have bidet seats as well, just like the Totos, but way more
Mm.
affordable and American designed.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, it's been such a labor of love over the last
Hmm.
decade. But after giving birth to Hiro, my son, again, like became aware of all of the
Yeah.
waste and all of the stuff that's being needed to consume to have a baby. And that's when I started my
Mm.
newest project, Hiro. Yeah.
Before we go to Hero, yeah, the last thing I want to say is I didn't appreciate bidets. My home came with one, like in our master. It's a normal toilet, and then it's like the old school next to it is the bidet, like
Right.
separate. And I never used it, didn't give a shit about it. And then after I had my son, I had hemorrhoids, and they got so vicious to the degree that like the wiping was hell. Like it was not
Yeah.
on the table. And so I like looked at this thing, I was like, oh my God, I have a bidet. And Johnny like hooked up the water to it, whatever. And it was
Life changing.
it was life
Yes.
changing. It like
It's life changing.
actually made it able to heal,
Yes.
like it was completely life changing. And
All
so
the doctors,
get your
literally
tushy.
all the doctors are like, if you have hemorrhoids,
Yeah.
any type of infection like that. Also, anal fissures are caused by wet wipes. Most
Mm,
when you're using wet wipes, they have, even if it's like 1% water wipes, that 1% literally is full of toxic chemicals, or even 0.1% is full of toxic chemicals. And when you're wiping and wiping with that over time, it starts to create lacerations in your butt crack. And then
ugh.
you have to get anal fissure operations. And all of that could be avoided by just like having a bidet. Like, and people
That's
are
a
afraid of, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, yeah, people, some people are set in their ways and they're very indoctrinated. I think my listeners are pretty open-minded. Um, and it's like the best of both worlds, obviously. Like I lived in India when I was 19 and I was
No
mostly in the
way.
north. Yeah, I've been there a couple times, but I lived there in the
Cool.
north in some of the most poor places where, I mean, I never saw one toilet ever. It wasn't really till I went to the south that I even saw a toilet. Um, anyway,
Cool.
but yeah, like being crash
What were you
course,
doing there?
just like, living and dying again and
Wow. Very
you know?
cool.
Yeah, we went to Burning Man, my sister and she and I after just my blood sister, she and I after an epic night together, life-changing night. The sun was rising and we were like, we got to go one way to India. And so we did. Like 3 weeks later, we went one way to India and we did our thing together for a while. We went to Yogi Bhajan's property in Anandpur
Nice.
Sahib in Punjab and did the Kundalini yoga thing for a while and then she took off with her partner at the time to Thailand and I just stayed. I just like couldn't. I
Hmm.
was not ready to leave. Anyway, you do what you do.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it was
awesome.
amazing. Totally. Well, also like side note, I mean, perfect time to go in my life as a young woman who grew up quite like affluent and um went to boarding school and like in the athletic world and stuff in America and I went to India thinking that I hated my country. I was 18, 19. I thought that America sucked. Even though I grew up traveling and stuff too, but then you go live in India, which, is oh my God, like such a deep special part of my heart. And yeah, I mean, I can't possibly articulate all the stuff it gave me, but and has continued to give me over my adult life, but it also helped me understand parts of the world and the systems and the lack of systems and just some basic appreciation for my country began to bloom that I just yeah I can't even articulate it right now.
I know it's
Love
it's
it.
amazing, right? When you travel and you come home, you're like, wow, like we're so free. We're so lucky. We do have, we have so much, like so much it's clean,
Mm-hmm.
like it's safe, and
My
it's
God.
yeah, there's so much
And
appreciation there.
obviously the inverse, like the rawness and realness of
India.
India cannot be matched.
Never.
I've been to lots of places and I've never experienced like the heart and rawness that is held by those people. Um,
Mm,
yeah.
mm,
Anyway, loved it. Spent a long time there. Went back before I became a mom again to just like yeah, get stripped again and see
mm.
what was
Beautiful.
Anyway, why was I just talking about that? Oh, because in northern India at that time, which was a long time ago, I never even saw a toilet and it was gross. Like it was obviously just holes in the ground. It was just spigots, there was no toilet paper, there was no soap. Like it was it was like, poor as shit bidet, you know
Right.
not tushy, on your toilet bidet. But my point of bringing this up at all is that I think that's what we're like up against with
Right.
the the cultural like the class and the class system of that to do that is even like is poor and gross and dirty. And there are some examples of maybe where I would agree with that, which is funny though, because also in like the richie of the richest, there's always bidets,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
But can you make it? But can you make a very a luxury experience an everyday homes. And I think we
Right.
want to democratize that for sure, which is so cool to see it in millions of people's homes now. It's really cool.
Okay, tell us now about, but like obviously I want to hear about the diapers and I have them on my little baby area. I'm so excited to do them. But also I really want you to touch on the wipes because
Yeah.
I never really thought about that and I'm totally down to ditch our wipes. Because I got in
Yeah.
your little present package, I got wipes and I hadn't even
Yeah.
thought about those. So to make sure you also just speak about that
For
because
sure.
it changed
For
my mind.
For sure. Well, so there's obviously all kinds of different types of wipes
Right.
that exist, right? And so like from a lens of like wet wipes, even the 99.9% wipes, that 0.1% is has so much toxicity. In order to keep it like the
Right.
preservatives to allow for those things not to stick together and to get all moldy
Okay.
and gross, like it needs a lot of toxins even at a small scale, which will eventually over time erode your skin, and especially putting on your baby's skin, it is
Okay.
such a no-no. Like our first iteration were the first unbleached wipes that exist actually for Hero, my next company, as like one of the part of the main thing. Um, and they're unbleached, which is like also that's another thing. It's like bleached with toxins. It's just like it doesn't bode well. It supports more diaper rash, basically, which
Okay.
isn't an ideal thing. So our next iteration of our wipes are actually unbleached dry wipes with a really cool dope spray container that you can just spray water with it, and that's it. And so
And they're throwaway.
and then you put it in the diaper and you throw it away, just like
Put it in the diaper.
oh yeah, I'll tell you. We'll talk about that
So
in a
the
second.
pack of wipes that I got, I haven't opened them. Are they wet?
They're wet.
Okay.
Yeah. So the ones and there's ours have aloe in them just so that there is a soothing element to it. And again, like our next iteration will be like dry wipes with a spray bottle of water. Because most people did want wet wipes. And so ours
Yeah.
has the least amount of crap in it. Like it's the least out there. It's the only unbleached wipe out there. And it has aloe properties, which is like has aloe in it, which makes it more soothing for the baby. But ultimately, like our next iteration will be the dry, so that there's
So
absolutely zero.
you're doing away with the wet.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think what you're going to be up against, obviously, you know this, is going to be the getting women to do the extra step.
I'll tell you what though, you think, but then you think about like, Blue Apron, or you think about like the just add an egg. There's this whole campaign where like the cake, people would make cake mixes. It was like it wasn't Aunt Jemima, but it was the other mix company that they were just like put the cake mix in water and just mix it and bake it and then you have a cake. And moms would be like a little ashamed and embarrassed. And so then they created a new formula. Just add an egg and then you mix it and then you bake it. And the sales went up 10,000%, whatever,
Okay.
because the moms felt like they were part of baking the cake and they felt like they were part of something bigger than just like putting the mix in and water. And they just felt a little like, and so the way we feel about it, or a Blue Apron, like when you're buying, like you're instead of takeout, you get all the ingredients and you just put it in your pan and it takes 3 minutes, but you feel like you cooked your family a dinner versus
And you're equating that to the mushroom packet.
yes. So
Okay.
I feel like so just to give it, so should I just explain what Hero
Yeah,
is?
totally.
Okay, great. So basically, when I had my son Hero, we went through 6,000, each baby goes through up to 6,000 diapers in their lifetime. And every diaper takes 400 to 500 years to break down. And so those numbers are just crazy. The very first disposable diaper is still in a landfill somewhere. Like the number of diapers that end up in a landfill every year could circle the earth 33 times. Like those numbers are astronomical. And it's like, and you zoom out one step further, you look at the global plastic crisis. 91% of plastic is not being recycled. It's being incinerated, put in landfills, put in our oceans, literally in our bodies now to the tune of like credit cards, and it's like annually, like we're having to now like literally cycle out microplastics out of our bodies. It's really a crazy thing. And so you really think about the waste that we're creating. We spend all this time like, you know, primestering our baby, then having our trimesters and then having the baby and then birthing the baby because we want to have them, give them a great life. And then all of a sudden you're leaving them with billions and billions and billions of pounds of plastic and trash and waste. We haven't thought about the end of life. And so I tried the cloth diapering thing. I put the mask on. I did the whole thing while I was recovering from my C-section. I did the vinegar in all my washing machine where every one of my clothes smelled like vinegar. I tried to send it out. I did everything. And it just was like, for a woman who's working, it just didn't work for my system. And the number of washes, the number of amount of water, the amount of bleed, like it was just like not bleed, but vinegar. It was just so much. And the actual when you actually talk to physical therapists who are for babies, like postnatal therapists, they say like those diapers are so big and bulky that it actually doesn't support the baby to learn how to actually walk as well when they're wearing something super light. And so there's lots and lots and lots of issues with um, cloth diapering. When you think you're doing something that's good for the planet, it actually is not that great for the planet in the end, because most parents who start with those cloth diapers don't end up using them the whole time. They end up switching to regular diapers, and then they end up, having to wash and wash and wash. And anyways, it's just not a tenable.
Yeah, but conversely, I mean, if you
Just
are water independent, like we're on a well, and we have the same 12 diapers, cloth diapers that we've used for coming into three babies, I don't do the vinegar. I have not had that experience. Like it's pretty chill. And the way that like I mean, I guess there's all sorts of them, but yeah, I think that the fact that these have a disappearing act is
for
is
sure. And so
ultimately for sure puts them at the top. Like
Well,
not
for sure. So when I really looked at the amount of diapers we're using, when I tried the cloth diapering, I was just like, there is a better system here that needs to happen for parents, for moms, to real and for the babies, most importantly, where it's not a bleached diaper with a toxic bromothymol blue line with the wetness indicator, which is they don't even allow it in adult cosmetics, that line that goes from yellow to blue. They don't even allow that adult cosmetics, but because the diaper industry is so unregulated,
oh
they just
no,
add that there and they use it as a marketing ploy to basically
be
make
lazy.
moms change the diaper faster. No,
Yeah.
that as soon as someone drops a baby drops a little pee, goes from yellow to blue, it signals a parent to change a diaper, even if when the diaper should last up to 12 hours.
Mm,
Anyways, and so I have a lot to say about that line, which is so toxic, and I don't suggest any parent use a diaper with that toxic blue line anymore. It is toxic. Um, so what we created was we really, really looked at the entire diaper industry. We looked at what actual materials exist right now, and we realized that there are no unbleached diaper on the market. Zero.
really?
We set out to create the world's first unbleached diaper. So if you actually see the inside, it's like kind of like it's like a tan versus white. And like the diaper industry believes that like white equals clean, white
Yeah,
equals safe, where it's like, no, the less processed equals clean. The less processed equals safe. And
they're
so
really cute.
and they're the softest diaper truly in the market. It's the first unbleached cotton back sheet. It's the softest inside. And actually, from an absorption, it's like 3 times more absorbent than like all leading eco brands. It's 5 times drier than every diaper brand, including the most luxury brands, and made with 50% less plastic than all of the conventional brands. And so it's the lightest, the softest, and the most high performing. And the best part is they come with these little packets that house our friendly fungi. We actually rejigger the shape into they come in with these little packets
They
that
make me think of ramen packets.
are they so cute?
Yeah, they
And
are.
inside these packets are friendly fungi that are culinary grade, so they're super safe. You can actually eat them, but don't eat them, but you can eat them. You don't even have to open this pouch. So when you change the diaper,
Oh, that's cool.
the baby poop literally acts as a fertilizer and the
Mhm.
pee. Then, so when you're changing the diaper, it's one inspired step. You drop this little pouch inside the diaper, you close it, you throw it in the trash. That's
Okay. You
it.
don't have to
There's
open it.
nothing else. You don't have to open it. You literally just take the whole pouch, it's a dissolvable pouch, you drop it in the diaper, you throw it in the trash. In a couple of weeks, those little friendly fungi, literally fertilized by our baby's poop or pee, will
That's
start to
awesome.
wake up. And the whole vision is that it will break the diaper down in under a year. That's our whole vision.
Wow.
Our first step is that it's going to start in this little packet so parents can get used to it being like fungi. Like it's so friendly, it's so safe. There's nothing, it's safer than the diaper itself, by the way.
Totally.
Nature,
Yeah.
it's culinary grade. You could eat it, don't eat
You
it.
could eat it.
But so the next version is we're gonna have them directly in the diaper.
Right.
So, and it's bio SAP. It's safer than the SAP in the diaper, the super absorbent polymer. Our bio SAP is safer than the SAP that's currently in the diaper. So we're gonna basically reinvent all absorbent products in the end that have so that anytime an absorbent product ends up in a landfill, they'll biodegrade in hopefully under
It
12 months.
had, I think for this to like go mainstream, that thing has to be
Has
in
to
the,
be in the diaper.
it just
It's
has to
going to.
be.
It's going to.
Yeah.
It's going to. But first version is we want to just get parents to be like, this is friendly. Let me teach it.
Totally.
Let me explain it to you how it works. Put it in the diaper. And there is something nice. The parents who love our product, they kind of, they like it. They enjoy, they feel like they're like, I'm a superhero mom. Like they feel like they're at least contributing to the regenerative cycle,
Totally. It's worth it. I mean,
versus
I don't like the idea of it, but I will do it because it's a very, very cool and important, like it's not a big deal to add it. But I'm just like picturing you're in the back of the car with the tailgate down and the baby's screaming and there's shit everywhere and you have to find that fucking little packet somewhere in your diapper
yeah,
bag.
so then you start it, you do it at home at first.
You
You
do it at
start
home
it,
for sure.
you do it at
Yeah.
home, and then on travel, we do have these little travel boxes that make it super easy. And
Cute.
it'll become a habit. It's like you pull out the wet
Yeah.
wipes with it. It's just like you're wet
It
wiping, you
is
add
what it
a
is.
pouch. It's literally it becomes a habit. It's not
Mhm.
like it's a whole thing. You literally take a thing and put it like
Yeah.
it's nothing. It's like, and I get it, like there's a squirmy baby, but I've done it so many times already with babies that it's just it
Yeah.
feels like it's so much with it, but it's
Get
not.
used to it.
It's not. It's
And I
actually not.
like that the wipes go in it so that it all
It
dissolves.
all just goes together, and the wipes actually, because they're wet, will start to dissolve it. But we're updating it
Right.
even better with our dry wipes. That's even better food for the fungi when it ends up in the diaper in the inside the diaper when it closes. It's like the first food for the diaper to start for the fungi to start to wake up
Hmm.
are the wipes. And so yeah, there's so much that's so exciting about creating a regenerative product. Like
Yeah.
we
That's one of the
we
worst situations like of an individual consumer.
It's the number one
Yeah.
household plastic waste item, number
Yeah.
three waste item in a landfill, literally a diaper. And
Yeah.
parents are just like throwing it away all day long. And it's not that it's just like, you just don't think about it until you pull out that trash bag full of diapers and you're just like, holy shit, this is insane.
Hmm.
And the alternative is cloth diapering and doing all that. And yes, you can do both. Like this could be for your travel, that could be for that. Like
Hmm.
there are different ways to use it. One
Right.
of the things that we're also excited about is that we've already led three EC classes, elimination communication classes, to teach parents about elimination communication. Most parents have no idea what that is. Teaching
Hmm.
parents how to learn the cues of their baby so they can get them out of diapers as fast as possible. You can be out of diapers in under a year. Like people don't even know that. Like 9 to 12 months, your baby could be out of a diaper. And yet, because you're just overriding the cues and the cues, like babies either hungry, sleepy, uncomfortable, or they need to eliminate. That's like one of the key things. And so like you learn after a meal or when they wake up that they should go straight to the potty and start to learn the cues. And you make a sound like psst when they're peeing or poop poop, whatever, when they're pooping. And then they start to like
Are you
answer the
linked
cue.
up with Andrea Olson, the Go
We're
Diaper Free?
we're talking with this I did this interview with this woman yesterday from Easy EC. What's her
Oh, I
name?
don't know that one.
Yeah. Anyways, I should know her name. But yeah, we just did an interview yesterday, and she's like she had her third kid, and her first kid she didn't do EC. She learned about EC in their second kid, and she was like, "Oh my God, my kid was out of diapers by the time he was walking."
Andrea's like the EC woman. Like her company is on Amazon. She sells the
Oh,
top
cool.
hats. Go Diaper Free is her company. She'd
Oh,
be a
cool.
great platform to
For
network with
sure.
because
Yeah, I would
she's
love
like
that.
the EC
Yeah,
woman.
Andrew,
But yeah,
yep.
we do that and I've even met moms. I don't know how to do this. I have no interest in this, but I've met moms who've never put their babies in diapers.
I love that.
Isn't that
Yeah,
amazing?
I mean, look, we're here to offer all the options, right?
Right. At the
If you're
highest
going to use
quality.
if you're going to use a disposable diaper, use Hero diaper.
Use
It's
Hero.
the only unbleached diaper. It's 50% less plastic than literally than any of the leading brands.
Awesome.
It is like the most high performing and it returns to the earth with fungi. Like If you're otherwise, use cloth, get out of diapers as fast as possible. But if you're going to pollute the planet, at least
Right.
use a
Put some
regenerative
damn mushrooms
product.
in it.
Yeah,
And
put
they're
some mushrooms
made in
in it.
Canada?
They're made in Canada. Our current SAP is literally until our bio SAP enters, it's from Japan. It's the number one, the most like the least toxic. You can put the least amount for the most high performing, which is why like we've literally removed all the trash that all these big diaper companies are competing with each other to be like, we have three extra layers that make it better for this. And we're like, no,
Oh,
we put just the right amount of plastic to make it high performing, but that plastic gets returned to the earth with the help of our friendly fungi. And so we can, unlike bamboo diapers, which by the way are so greenwashed, they don't work, and they're actually, it's like made of, it's a bamboo that's been manufactured into a plastic and it's bleached. It's a horribly greenwash product. And that's why we didn't use any bamboo in our diapers because we're like, we looked into it and we were like, not, this is such greenwashing bullshit. And
mm.
so ultimately, like again, we are here for regeneration. Like we're here, I'm a mom, like this is something I don't need to be doing, but I really, really care about changing culture. And what's so cool about this for me is that we get to literally teach parents how to become eco-forward parent leaders as part of joining our hero's journey. So we're going to teach you herbalism 101, like potions for postpartum. We're going to teach you how to like grow a little garden. We're going to teach you how to grind your food instead of having to like buy all those squeeze packs. We're going to teach you all these different types of leadership, training on how to become a leader of your micro ecosystem, which is becoming a parent of your home. Like you become a leader of your micro ecosystem, and you don't have real leadership training. So we're going to give you that training for free. So it's going to be super, super
And
fun
save a lot of money doing that.
and save so much money. You're
Yeah.
going to like, yeah. So
So
anyway,
were you just like laying in bed one night and were like mushrooms eat plastic? Like
no,
how did this
it's the
idea?
craziest story. It's the craziest story. My son gave me the idea. He was 2 years old. I was literally sitting in my bed, actually looking out the window, being like, wait a minute, breast milk is liquid gold, and therefore baby poop must be fertilizer gold. And right now we're wrapping up this potential energy, this fertilizer mama breast milk juju in plastic, and we're not harnessing billions of pounds of this for good. And we're using pig poop and cow poop to fertilize our food, but we're not using our own baby, our own breast milk, like powerful mother-led potent juju for like, and we're just wrapping in plastic. Like, what the, like, wow. Like,
What are
there's,
we doing?
I was like, what are we doing? I'm like, what if we can literally take that? Like, what if the baby poop can potentially fertilize something that can grow and eat the plastic of the diaper? Like, what could that be?
Hmm.
Literally in that exact moment when I was like, what could the poop fertilize to eat the plastic? My son Hero comes running into my room and points to a book in my nightstand and saying while saying Pacha, Pacha, which means earth, and Pachamama. And I was like, I look and I pull out this book, and this book is called Pacha's Pajamas, Pacha. And this book is about this young girl. By the way, this book was given to me like 2 years prior, or a year and a half to 2 years prior, by a woman at a conference. You get given books and you like have them in your library downstairs
Yeah,
and whatever. It was brought somehow magically, miraculously, this book for children was brought up to my bedroom in my nightstand, one floor up to my bedroom nightstand in the back. And I'm like, huh. So Hero's like, Pacha. I look and this book is in my bedroom nightstand. And I pull out this book and it's called, and he's saying Pacha and Mother Earth. I pull out this book and literally start reading this book. And on page 31, it says there's certain types of fungi that can break down plastics.
nice. You're like, baby, you just got a diaper brand named after you.
No, but like that's the kind of listening.
Hell yeah.
Why like ayahuasca was created by a by like literally like a person just sitting in nature and just tuning in to nature
To
and
listen,
just
yeah.
listening and being like, you take this plant and you take this plant and you cook it this way and you
And
add
they grow nowhere near each other.
yeah.
That's one of the craziest parts.
It's crazy. And then
Yeah.
also like all it's like, I went to the Amazon rainforest for a couple of weeks and literally spent that time with the indigenous people who've never been to the modern world. There's no roads, there's nothing. And literally I spent 2 weeks there And they literally, I'm like, oh, you have a sunburn? They ran up the mountain, they ran up in the forest and they like got a bunch of leaves and they like put them on. And then like you're healed within like a couple of, like, you're just like, and you're burnt and you're back to normal. I'm just like, there's some,
Magic.
I mean, it's magic. They're like, oh, you want to support this. And then they just run it, they get the thing and and then they just, it's raw. Like the whole thing is,
It's amazing.
so much attunement that we've like lost,
Yeah.
and I just, yeah, like I'm so excited to relearn how to attune with nature, how to attune with our children who are divine, literally divine conscious beings who can give you the answers if you're listening.
Mhm.
Elimination communication is actually about attunement. It's about attuning to your baby and really, really feeling into their cues. And when they have to go to the bathroom, you're using way less that you're like, you're tuning in. And I think that's also an amazing, amazing part about this time of life of becoming a mother or becoming a father. It's like that one-way doorway from maiden to mother, from bachelor to father, and it's like an acupuncture point of change where you get to reattune to something bigger than yourself. You're going from like an I me consciousness to an us we consciousness. It's a very, very different time. And so I really am excited about this movement of mothers, like MOM, we're calling it MOM, movement of mothers, where it's like to really move society forward into an eco-forward parent leadership like way, forward where you're not going to just stay like that when you have a baby, but hopefully for the rest of your life, you learn these tools, these skills on gardening, on permaculture, ecology, like braiding with nature, fungi. Like you're learning so much, you're not going to go back, So that's what we're hoping for. And I love the
And
work.
to be proud of what you're contributing versus completely asleep,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Exactly. So, and
Beautiful.
there's got to be some level of convenience too. Ultimately, we do live in a world that's
Yeah.
modern. And like, yes, like for many women, like you can do the cloth diapering and bless you, even if there are some challenges, it bless you. For the modern woman,
Most
hey,
people.
for
Yeah.
most, it's just not a real option. And so
Yeah.
like what are the options? We'll at least choose a regenerative option that exists,
Totally.
didn't
So
exist
do
before.
you just get on like a subscription for it?
Yeah, we call it the hero's journey. Yeah, the monthly bundle, or you can get it once. You can just get it once and try it.
Yeah.
You can also gift it to your friends, gift it to those. We have a giftable subscription or a giftable option as well. Like
Yeah.
you can gift it to friends. But yeah, like it's just once you're in the hero's journey, you enter a whole journey with us to help solve the global plastic crisis. We're going to give you monthly updates on where our fungi are, what our fungal research is doing, how we're going to get them into the diaper. We just partner.
Live cams in the landfills.
Yeah, we're gonna do like so many cool things that you're gonna learn so much about also becoming an eco-forward parent leader, all for free. Like it's gonna be part of you're gonna get leadership training for free, like as part of joining the journey, because we're so excited about it. So yeah,
Go girl.
there's so much to look forward to. And yeah, I'm really excited about the idea of also just free birthing and like again, like remembering our capacity to hold and to be able to do things and to attune to ourselves. We've
Right.
lost.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all a domino, ripple effect. Well, for our last baby, we used Nest. We did cloth at home and did Nest out and about, and we were
Yeah.
very happy with them, but they're so hard to get. They're like really, really, I don't know what's up with their supply situation, but you can't like barely get them anymore. So before you and I started talking, Johnny and I were like, we're not sure what we're gonna do because I'm not gonna like chase a product. We need our
Right.
diapers. And so this is perfect. I'm excited to try Hero out with our little one coming any day now and
I
put
can't
that
believe
little ramen packet in there and
it.
feel good about my life. Turn my bidet back on.
I'm gonna send you a tissue. Do you have one?
We don't have one because we have a bidet, but we would put that one in our
Yes.
other
Text me your
bathroom.
address. And I will send you a Tushy bidet. You're gonna love
Yeah,
it.
because then the kids, we'll put it in the kids' bathroom and they'll
100%. And you're gonna be there all
issue
the
it
time.
up.
I tell you. You're gonna
Yeah,
be in that
exactly.
bathroom all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the best.
Well,
Uh,
it is more convenient to have it on the actual toilet
it
because in
is.
our
You
setup,
don't have to like
we have
shimmy
to
over
like,
with
yeah,
your poopy butt. It makes no sense. Like it makes no fucking sense.
it
The
is
whole
weird actually that they
It's so
wouldn't.
dumb. It's like your poopy butt. You might be dripping. I don't know. It's like what the fuck? Like it makes no sense.
It is weird. Why do they do that?
I, yeah,
Okay, well, we'll put in the show notes the stuff to both of these websites. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and thank you. I loved hearing about all this, and I'm just so proud of you, and thank you for your perseverance and conviction, and knowing your hair is not fucking blue, and just staying the course and being open to, what life wants of you. You're killing it.
I mean, we're just on the goddess's path. That's it. You know,
Yeah, but it takes two to tango. The goddess
it
wants us all on the path, but you're saying
totally.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm excited to continue to again braid with you too and like see where we can do. I mean, I know that there's, again, there's so much up leveling we can do with each other
Yeah.
in collaboration. I'm excited for that too, for sure.
All right, women, I hope you enjoyed the show today. You can support this podcast by donating to it through the link in the show notes below. And of course, leaving an awesome review on whatever platform you listen on. The more reviews, the more visibility the show gets. So let's spread the good word of free birth. Don't forget, you can watch all of my podcast interviews on YouTube and see the women as they tell their birth and power stories. And you will also find our viral free birth collection of epic raw birth videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you're subscribed. We always have a lot going on at Free Birth Society, and you can find out about all of it at freebirthsociety.com. And I am at Free Birth Society on Instagram. Please opt into my newsletter below so that you don't miss a thing. We offer courses on free birth, sovereign birth work, as well as one-on-one coaching, women's retreats, so much. Our exclusive private vetted membership, The Lighthouse, is definitely something to check out if you are looking for a community of wise sisters to get guidance from and to meet in real life. Together we rise, sisters. We must speak our stories fully, claim our lives, and support one another. This is the living revolution, and I am so grateful to be in it with all of you. Till next time.